So I'm going to use some of these. These are texture gels, and they are available in a wide range of different textures and strengths and stiffness. This is a carvable texture paste. It's really thick and it's going to add texture to my paint. I'm applying it onto the palette. It comes out of the jar. Usually they come out white and they dry absolutely clear, more or less. So if you want to add colour to it, you need to put plenty of colour in. And the benefit of using a texture paste like this goes under the name of a heavy carvable modelling paste. If you want to know what it is, it means that you can build up really thick impasto, which means the paint is put on in large chunks, really. You can build up impasto heavy layers without needing to spend an awful lot of money on paint, because this is going to be a cheaper way of doing it. And it means that you can build up layers a quarter of an inch, half an inch thick if you want to. I'm adding some of the grey from the previous stage and a little bit of cerulean blue. We're going to make a bluey tinge to the snow, and then we'll put some highlights on with white with a touch of Naples yellow in it afterwards. So this is going to be knifed on, and as you can see, it's very thick and textured, and it will dry exactly that shape. It doesn't sink back. So let's have a go. So I'm going to first of all just slide the knife in. You have to know roughly where you're going with this, and we'll take these trees, we'll just bring a sweep of snow down around here, maybe make the lighter area of snow in this area, and put some shadows under the trees at the second stage, and practice it a few times first. That looks okay. So here we go, and then we'll just take it down and around. That's my little bit of distance. This is the trees away in the distance, the gap between the trees, and the carvable, the heavyweight texture paste is wonderful for putting in lines and putting in grooves and marks to show where the landscape changes, or where you get waves, or you get crops like olive trees and things. You can do all that. And of course snowdrift, snow has got a lot of movement in, like waves. We're just painting the snow as it comes down, and I've got some light colour to mix up next to put on the top. So this is a mid-pale bluey grey, and my trees will have some snow on here and there, and I can just bring the knife around so we get the look of snow, and it's a mid-tone of my palest colour. It's not the palest one by any means. I'm going to go to white in a minute. We've got the big knife out again, as you can see. I'm using it on its edge. Stipple a few little snowy touches on the trees. You can also put the knife flat. You can use the knife on its flat, put some paint on the knife and just touch it gently. It will pick up on the ripples that are in the paint from the last exercise, the last stage. So just touch and you get little hints of snow on some of these trees, and quite an easy way of doing it. This is a nice way of putting the hint of snow on clumps of branches here and there. I'm going to move the snow line here up a little bit, or the edge of the snow, into where the trees are, and then take the knife and scrape back down and make the occasional branch coming down into the snow, and the occasional look of some of these trunks, and I can put those in later with a smaller knife. This just gives us a more regular look to start with, and I can add some irregularities, some fallen branches or something, even things like footprints. If we got someone walking up, you see, we can scrape back in, show little tracks in the snow. And I'm going to put a white on now, so I'm going to mix some white with this. We'll take some titanium white and texture paste, titanium white, and here is the old texture paste, and in it goes. A little bit of Naples yellow just to warm it slightly. There we go. And we'll put that on, coming from here and coming in around the corner. So we've got a nice look of snow maybe blowing up from this side. The snowdrift or two, here it goes. I'm going to have to put my footprints back in later on. Or maybe they've been covered by the last fall of snow, perhaps. Nice, juicy, thick paint. And we'll just wait for that to dry, and I'm going to work back in next with some of the trunks, putting in a little bit of more snow, and see whether we need to do anything else. So I've mixed up some burnt umber and cerulean, and I'm going to put the hints of some of the tree trunks in, working the knife upwards so that we're able just to put in the hints under here of some of the tree trunks coming out of the snow. I don't want to add too much, and I'm using, as you can see, my little baby knife. It's a kind of a triangular cross section on the tip. It's more pointed than the others. Just putting in the hints of where I want some of the trunks to be. And then we'll put the shadows in under some of these just to define the base of these trees and set them in the landscape. Otherwise they float a little bit. Same knife, a little bit of pale bluey grey mixed up with cerulean blue and white. And I'm just putting in some shadows in under the trees here with the same knife, just to give us an edge, if you like, to the snow. And obviously the shadows will be on that side, on the right hand side of each of the trees. And I think I've reached a stage where I can sense I'm beginning to fiddle, which is nature's way of telling me to stop. So that's a knife painting with texture paste and retarding medium and 3 knives and acrylics. And I'm going to finish now before I overwork it.